All right, everybody, you're back with the Loudini Hard Rock and Metal Circus. This week, we are going to be telling you the 10 times Led Zeppelin got all metal up in your ass. You're listening to the Loudini Hard Rock and Metal Circus, changing rock history, one podcast at a time. All right, everybody, welcome back to the Loudini Hard Rock and Metal Circus. My name is Lou Lombardi, a.k.a. Loudini. And tonight's topic, as I mentioned, we're going to be talking about Led Zeppelin and their actual heavy metal roots. We are still waiting for our co-host, Keith the Hawk Hawkins, to chime in here. We don't know where he is. Maybe, Lily, you want to look and see if you can direct him there while we're getting set up with my co-host tonight. We have Lily V6 from Rock Rage Radio, and we are going live right now on Rock Rage Radio Live on Facebook. So chime in, say hi, give us a comment, and what times or what tracks do you think by Led Zeppelin are the most heavy metal, or the one, because Led Zeppelin has this reputation as being one of those bands that's very influential in heavy metal, yet they sort of turn their noses up at the whole heavy metal name or label. Label's the word I want.
That's a good word. That's a good word.
They don't want to be labeled as heavy metal. Why? Who knows? Anyhow, so we are live right now. A couple of things. You are listening to Loudini Hard Rock and Metal Circus. You can go to LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. There's tons of cool podcasts there. Please hit the share button and let folks know about the great music that's out there, and share it around. Let people know about it. Also, there's a little merchandise store. There's a little store there. And feel free to get yourself some cool T-shirts, mugs. We have all kind of stuff there. Shot glasses. You saw what?
A hoodie.
There's hoodies. There's all kind of cool stuff there. So check that out. You can get that all at LoudiniRockandRollCircus.com. And if you want to get some behind-the-scenes stuff, you want to hang out with us before the podcast, you want to, get some exclusive music, some exclusive video, go to LouLombardiMusic.com/Inner Circle. That is LouLombardiMusic.com/Inner Circle. We need to come up with a better name than that, but we will do it. LouLombardiMusic.com/Inner Circle to get some exclusive stuff. You said Keith is on?
Yep.
Okay.
He's watching.
Okay. Keith is chiming in here in a minute. So we're talking about Led Zeppelin. And Lily, what's going on with you? Why don't you, while we're waiting for Keith to get in here, what's going on with you, girl?
I just got Keith Snyder show on Sunday at Jurgles, which was pretty awesome. I was expecting the worst, like I usually do at shows that I normally like, but he rocked it. He played some of his new stuff and some Twisted Sister stuff, and he still has the energy. What is he, 63? He still has all the energy in the world. He was having a great time. I was really expecting him to be, but he wasn't at all. And it was awesome. And I got to do a flyby on a helicopter over Jurgles. Terrifying, by the way, since there are no doors on the helicopter that I was in.
Was you flying that thing?
Awesome. Keith, what's up, buddy? You there?
Yeah, are you flying a helicopter, V6?
We can't hear you at all.
No,
Okay, sorry I got that, guys. A little unprofessional of us. Excuse me, Keith, just 1 second. We'll apologize, a little unprofessional of us. We're trying to get our,
the bugs.
We're working on some bugs here. We're on a new thing going on live on Rock Rage Radio. And the hookups to bring people on, Keith comes in remotely, and it's a little wonky. It's not as smooth as it was when we were just using our personal page. So we will get the hang of this. All right, Hawkster, there you are. So what's going on, big guy? What's new? What's going on with you? Look, you're ready to metal out tonight. What's happening, buddy? Speak to me.
What's up? Hey, what's up, buddy? Hey, Lily, were you flying a helicopter?
No, I was not.
You were.
I was.
Girl got skills.
I was very, very still. I did not want to.
You could have got me on that thing for $10. I was like, nah,
when I was offered to do a flyby over the venue, though, I couldn't really pass it up, even though I was terrified.
That's cool. I'd have soiled myself first, then I would have got on the helicopter.
I was sweating pretty good.
Sure.
I was gross for the show.
Show gross.
I kind of wanted to learn to fly one now, though, that I've been up in one, but that's going to take a while.
Yeah, that takes a few hours.
Yeah.
That takes a few years in my case.
You ever been in a helicopter, Keith?
I don't know.
There were no doors on it,
But
so there was
like,
all like, there's the air.
I don't mind like big jet airliners because I don't have to like really stare out the window because I'm like enclosed. On that thing, there's no choice but to see what's going on.
Everything.
I
looked down at one
watching a
point.
little bit of the video. I was getting sick just watching it. You know what I mean? So,
He said, "Don't hold your phone out the window. You will lose
oh,
it."
I'm sure that thing would have been.
So I'm like, "That's the phone."
Did you did they have you strapped in or anything?
One seatbelt across the lap. That's it.
Jesus, that's effed up, man. That's not something I don't
I'm
know.
sweating thinking about it right now.
Well, it is a little warm in here. All right, so we've been talking, Keith. We just got started. We haven't started without you. We just gave like the intro and shit. So
It's all good.
we're talking about the times Led Zeppelin actually went heavy metal on your ass, and they did a few times. I mean, what's so interesting is there's the big three bands that most people cite when they say, well, who are the progenitors of metal? And of course, there's Black Sabbath, and then the other two are usually Deep Purple and Led Zeppelin. And, out of the three of those, Zeppelin is the most like hippie of them, you know what I mean? The most kind of flower childish, kind of thing,
Sure.
Played,
A lot of acoustic.
yeah, a lot of acoustic country vibes, stuff like Boogie with Stu and, songs like that. But they wrote a lot of songs about wizards and Vikings and, Lord of the Rings stuff. And,
Vulcan.
yeah, there's that whole thing, in some ways, you take a song like Stairway to Heaven, which is a kind of a dark, very haunting song, and, say if you say that song would have came out and been recorded by like a progressive metal band in, whenever, the 90s or the early 2000s or whatever, I mean, it could definitely go that way for sure. So they definitely, we were, Lily and I were talking before the show, like there's some interviews with Robert Plant where people throw the word heavy metal out, and he gets this look on his face like he just left the most nasty fart ever,
Yeah, he gets all offended.
Yeah, he gets like all offended, But really, they did influence, and all those '80s bands wanted to be Led Zeppelin in a big way. So that's the preamble there. So Keith, what do you think? What do you think about Led Zeppelin's more metal side?
I mean, I'm first and foremost, if you're gonna write songs about like wizards and castles and more wizards and whatever you want to Lord of the Rings type stuff. All I can say is you may write good songs, but lay off the freaking drugs. But that's a whole other thing. A little PSA for tonight. But I don't think that Zeppelin is their typical metal band. I think they're far more eclectic than that. But they do have some heavy songs, which we will discuss here. But when they went heavy, there were some songs where I think some of the riffs were, I don't want to say deceptively heavy, but it wouldn't be like a song you would think. Then you start listening to it and you're like, yeah, it's pretty grooving, and it's it just becomes heavy. Heavy doesn't mean it has to be this like dark, big distortion kind of thing. It can be heavy without it, being like over the top heavy. You know what I mean? So sometimes they just catch that.
How I want to do this tonight is I want us to kind of talk and throw out our favorite heavy metal Led Zeppelin moments, and then at the end we're just going to list 10. And that'll be our 10 for the audience, so we can not lie when we post the title of the podcast. So, I mean, it's not like a competition, and it's not like we don't have to be any specific order or anything like that, but I think we can come up with
we don't have all night to order the songs.
Yeah, no, we don't got that kind of time. So who wants to start first? Who wants to pick a Led Zeppelin heavy metal moment and talk about it? Keith, Lily, who wants to go first?
Let Keith go, since we missed him last week.
So we just what are we songs here, or what's up?
Why don't you? I would say songs. I think that's probably where we want to go with it.
Did you ever hear the not topic? Did you ever hear the land shark story with the roadie and the groupies? You can't get more than that.
No.
Thing.
Oh, yes, I have. Yes, I have.
But
what would you say? You thought something? What?
You can't get more metal than that when it comes to that. I mean, if you're going to take a shark and do some bad things with it, that's something. But okay, so I'm trying to keep it more ones I think are heavy, but I'm trying to like really not be so obvious with some of them. It's so obvious, it's it's not funny.
Right. That's like obvious and not obvious. That's fine. Yeah.
I'm gonna try to think up a few that aren't as obvious. So
You okay?
yeah, I got people like just harassing me, and I'm about to call the police. All right, so the first one I'm gonna go to is for real with this shit right now. I'm gonna go to Nobody's Fault But Mine because that's just a rocker. So that's it's heavy, it's melodic. It got the cool stops and starts in it. That's definitely a song that I think is maybe not quite as obvious, but it's me. It's one of their definitely like their metal moments where they were on their game. No, which they always are, but that's a real grooving song. There you go. My number one pick was Nobody's Fault.
Nobody's Fault But Mine. Okay, so we've got Keith chiming in with Nobody's Fault But Mine. I agree. That's a really badass riff. I would love to play it, but Facebook will probably
They'll smack your hand.
Yeah, Facebook will shut our video off, so we can't play it. So, Lily, you got one?
I do. I'm going to pick the very first Zeppelin song I ever heard. Now, I didn't ever listen to Zeppelin until I was probably about 14 years old. And the first song I heard was Rock and Roll. I love how it starts out with the crazy drums. I love it. That's actually, I got to see it with all of Zeppelin except for John Bonham, unfortunately. But Jason Bonham was filling in for drumming that day, and or that tour. And I'm going to go with Rock and Roll. I just think it, as far as the drumming goes, it's just like all over the place. And I think that's one of their.
Okay, cool. I'm going to go with Achilles' Last Stand.
Mm-hmm.
I think that is like you could totally just crank those guitars way up and bring that into modern times and have a total metal tune out of it. It's just a ripping riff, majorly. It's deceptive. It's like when you don't think of it as because of the way they play it. You know what I mean? They have a more earthy kind of sound. You know what I mean? Like whereas metal has like a darker vibe overall. They have that they always have that sort of like earthy vibe to what they did. So you may not go off the hand, but there's some great. If you go to YouTube and you do some searches, and you Google something like Led Zeppelin metal covers, there are some really there's some really good ones. There's some really not so good ones, but it just goes to show that a lot of these songs can be moved into the metal arena real quick. And I just want to give you guys just a real quick listen to this. This is just some guys in a studio doing a little jamming on Achilles' Last Stand. So just check it out. Right. It's not Led Zeppelin.
No,
but it shows.
That sounds good.
You say?
That sounds really
good. But it's good.
No, it just sounded killer. I don't know who is that.
This is a guy named Jay Locke, and you can just subscribe to his YouTube channel. And it's him in a studio, double tracking or overdubbing all the parts, bass and guitars and everything. And you can hear how the song works in that genre. So it's just a kind of a little example to show where that could go. Go ahead, Keith. What do you got, buddy?
Okay, the one I'm going to pick now is to me a very standout track on this record because this is a very eclectic record for them. I think we mentioned before, it's a very acoustic base. It can be a country record like the vibe sometimes. From Led Zeppelin 3, Out on the Tiles was a very heavy song, I thought, for them. I mean, Out on the Tiles just comes in big build. I mean, it's got some just cool groove, laying down that heavy Jimmy Page guitar. Definitely Out on the Tiles is, I think, a deceptively heavy song for them that is the one maybe don't, like I said, I'm going to go for the less obvious ones, but I'll be like, oh, yeah, you're right. Spot on the Tiles, I think, is one that
That is a killer riff. What do you got there, Lily?
I'm gonna go with Heartbreaker, just due to the Jimmy Page's solo, like in the like middle section of the song, where it kind of like takes off with the song after that. Kind of heavy.
Kind of on the heavy side.
Kind of.
Are you talking about this key? When you hear stuff like that, you can really hear the where like Whitesnake and Skid Row and Guns N' Roses and those bands kind of got like their sort of, mojo. So, but anyways, so I'm sorry, Lily. Heartbreaker by Led Zeppelin. Heartbreaker is a really heavy riff.
classic riff.
And yeah. So I'm seeing if I can find a cool metal cover version of that. Heartbreaker Led Zeppelin metal. Yeah, because of it. Here's a band called Mammoth.
Yeah.
Covering it. So let's give a little quick listen to this. Oh, looks like this is their high school graduation.
It does.
No, we won't be playing. This is like some kids at their high school graduation.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Jamming.
I liked the name.
Wait, let's take another quick listen. This is fun, guys. Go to YouTube and do this. It's a lot of fun. So yeah, so there is. So if you guys go to YouTube, you could type in any Led Zeppelin song, right? Metal cover, and there's actually a lot of them out there. It's kind of a fun thing to do. A lot of them suck. Some of them are cool. So, which one would I pick? I guess it's my turn to throw one out there to the kids. I guess I'm going to go a little more obvious, but I think that this song, again, if you crank up the guitars and you do it in a slightly different arrangement, I think the Kashmir, in some ways, is the progenitor of all modern, like, minor key metal stuff, even more so than what Sabbath did, because it isn't really blues based. It's got that sort of like minor key, Eastern, spooky kind of vibe to it, droney, heavy.
It's dark.
Yeah, it's very dark, nasty song, and I think that is definitely one of Led Zeppelin's metal moments. Absolutely.
Did you use the word progenitor on a podcast?
Progenitor.
Yeah, you had,
not progenitor.
Nice go, man. You just had to be able to go run through for freaking Thesaurus and
I hate you guys.
I know, but see, that's the fun of it. Is like the hate is part of the love, and then you can love the hate.
The hate is all about
and
the metal.
and it's like so. Cash. Yeah, let's see if there's a one we can pull up real quick. Here's you guys ever heard Alice in Chains do it?
No.
No, it's pretty cool though. With the new guy.
Let's give it just a real quick. We'll give it a quick listen here, and you guys can just get a little flavor for what it is after this Taco Bell commercial. Taco Bell, by the way, is not sponsoring my podcast.
So you should never say their name again. Oh, I'm so excited. There's like an orchestra.
So anyways, you guys can go check that out for yourselves. It's on YouTube. There's a version of, it's back from 2007, so it's a while ago, of Alice in Chains rocking out some Kashmir. So how many do we have? How many have we gone through?
Oh my gosh, a 6.
We got through 6. Let's take a break and jam out a band here. This is one of our Mickey Hernandez. We love you. I don't know if you're watching tonight, Mickey, but we're going to rock out your band.
Earlier, yeah.
Yep. And Dark Entries. This is Manifesto on the Ludini Hard Rock. Yes, that's Dark Entries, guys. Mickey Hernandez. They just keep putting out one cool single after another. Good heavy hard rock. Check them out. ReverbNation.com/Dark Entries. And we'll close out the show with another track from them too as well. So you guys can check them out there. We've been running down a little list here of Led Zeppelin, and we're coming up with a lot. We're gonna have more than 10.
You think?
Yeah, whatever it is, we'll just change the title of the podcast.
16.
All right.
So if we come up with
We'll
if we come
just
up
change
15
it.
or 20, then that's
All
what.
the songs.
Yeah, that'll be fine. That doesn't matter. Is that Diesel?
Huh?
Was that Diesel? I heard a little bark.
Nah, he's eating.
He's eating. What's he eating? Anything good?
Just dog food. Stitch fell.
What does he eat? Does he eat Alpo?
I don't know.
Wow, really? You
What's
wanted
he
it?
eat? Rachel Ray Nutrition.
Ooh,
What?
fancy.
Wait a minute. There's Rachel Ray dog food.
Yes, there is.
That's all very happy.
Oh my god. Oh crap! You guys, you're way too young. Keith might be too young. In the '70s, there was his commercials on television on prime time with Lauren Green for Alpo. You know, and he'd be like, "Remember this commercial? He's an old dog, but he comes running for Alpo."
Yeah.
I have no idea what the
Sometimes old dogs
Oh
do
god.
that, but that's a whole other thing.
Oh shit.
And yes, you can swear on here. They don't care.
Okay, well now we're swearing, which means I have to mark this podcast as fucking explicit now, you motherfucker. What the
Oh,
fuck?
come on.
Jesus
whatever,
fucking
whatever.
Christ, what the
Please
fuck?
watch your fucking language, too.
Let's just calm it down, guys.
Merry
Come on.
goddamn Christmas, happy fucking New Year.
Woo! There it is.
Don't abuse it. Man.
I gotta get it out now. I've been holding back for the first fucking half an hour. Oh, fuck.
Calm yourself.
I can't.
You-
Led Zeppelin is heavy metal. Fuck you, Robert Plant.
Woo!
Anyways, no, I love Robert
And
Plant.
now we're gonna get a letter from Robert Plant.
Yeah.
Till Ludini fucking Rosecus.
How fucking dare you?
This guy runs an auto.
Yeah.
Don't even swear enough, you know what I mean? I figured you'd be swearing all freaking day, all night.
God.
Oh, fuck. Anyway, so the times Led Zeppelin actually threw some heavy metal at us, despite the fact that they say they're not fucking heavy metal. That's like Greta Van Fleet saying they don't sound like Led Zeppelin.
Well, you're fucking wrong.
No, you sound like that. So let's go ahead. Who's next?
I believe Keith's next.
Keith.
Or is it me? I don't remember.
He's got the finger, and he's doing the neck shaking.
I'm just
thing.
asking him. I don't want to be jumping in on.
Just do it.
Keith.
Just do it.
All right, so the next one may come
Uh-oh.
as a surprise, but if you listen to the actual, like the verse riff, it doesn't start out this way. When that verse riff kicks in, it's heavy. This is In the Light from Physical Graffiti is a heavy.
Uh-huh. Yep, it's on my list. It's on all of our lists.
Yeah, that's a heavy riff, dude. I mean,
Yes.
it's very hypnotic.
Uh-huh.
That shit'll take you through like just that's some head bob and shit right there. I'm about to.
I know. Yeah, see if there's a metal cover for that. In the Light, Led Zeppelin metal cover. See if there's a.
Ooh, maybe not.
No, not for this one. So okay, we will if we find one. I have one for another song that I think is going to come up that I want to play. This guy has an amazing voice. This guy is.
I love that guy. Is that
Yeah,
you're talking about
he's
that guy?
like Eastern European, and this guy's an amazing. We're going to play in a minute, but what? So what's on your list? What's in your
That's
wallet?
the one I was gonna say.
Well, say it. Do it.
Well, I was just gonna go with the most obvious one, which I think is Immigrant Song, which is one Lou's talking about right now with this
What's his name?
incredibly
Pela?
attractive man. You know?
Pelic. So check this guy out, man. Keith, check this guy's voice out. He is this amazing. Well, of course, we have to listen to an ad by a credit card company first. That is again not sponsoring my frickin' podcast.
Oh, dear.
Even though we have 45,000 downloads. Did you know that? We
Really?
have 45,000
Nice.
downloads. Yes.
Hi, Ashley. I love this guy.
Good, awesome. Okay, we're gonna do this separate song. We're gonna power meld it up, and I hope you like it. Leave a comment below. Let me know what you want to hear next time.
Everybody do this. And here's what. That is just freaking, that's chills inducing. Pellic Official
He's awesome.
is his YouTube channel. I'm subscribing right now.
He does a lot of stuff.
He's got 1 million views on this.
Really? There's a version of that song. You ever see that movie, Girl with the Dragon Tattoo? There's a version of that song before when the credits are rolling in the beginning. Some female singing. I don't know who it is though. Trent Reznor kind of thing. So if next time you see that movie, there's a version Immigrant Song that a girl, the female fronted. I don't know the artist. You'd have to just Google it or whatever, but it's pretty good too. And it's like you can definitely tell what it is, but she's telling it out, man. It really sounds good. I don't know.
You should check out Ann Wilson's version of it.
I'm sure it does.
Yeah.
She does kick ass, right? And I never understood the words till I heard her version. Like, oh, that's what the words are to that song. But yeah, guys, go to YouTube and check out Pellic, and that's Pellek Official. This dude has an amazing voice.
I just have to say he does a really awesome version of This Is Halloween from Nightmare Before Christmas.
All right then.
He does, and I love it, and I watch it every year.
Okay.
Because I'm weird.
So whose turn is it next?
Would be yours.
Well, I'm gonna surprise all y'all.
Oh shit.
All y'all are gonna be surprised with this one.
What are you from the South now?
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready for this? Keith, I don't think you're gonna be ready for this.
I wasn't ready until I just saw it.
Now you gotta check this out.
Let's look at that one. Oh, that's Iron Maiden. Yeah, I heard that version.
You know who it
That's
is?
Iron Maiden.
Yeah. Yes, Bruce Dickinson and company doing Communication Break. I think
so
I didn't think of it at first, but it really is with the way the riff is, and it's very powerful, very fast. This is on the first Led Zeppelin album, right? This is on Led Zeppelin 1. Yeah. And I mean, that's the roots of heavy rock right there and metal. And these guys, I mean, if Maiden's going to do it, I mean, come on. Maiden is the definition of metal.
Right.
And boom,
Goes the dynamite.
there you are. So fuck all y'all. Anyways,
We're up to 17 now with it.
we have, do
They're
not have
keeping count.
17. We do not have 17 songs.
No, 17X.
Oh.
They're keeping count. They're keeping count.
17
right now.
fucking Led fucking Zeppelin
Oh
fucks.
my god. Mary.
So anyway, so Communication Breakdown, we just jammed out a little bit of the Iron Maiden version of it. You guys can, again, you can find that on YouTube. I don't know if that's on an actual release, if that's a demo thing or what.
I'm downloading that.
So you guys know how to check that out. It's pretty cool. So, all right, what else we got?
I got one.
How many do we have so far on our list? Hold on, just 1 second.
9.
9. So we're up to number 9. Number 9. Neon Deadman. All right, Speak. What do you got there, buddy? Speak to me, sweet.
We're gonna go.
There we go.
We're gonna go first album again, if you don't mind. The
Go.
song's called "How Many More Times." 'Cause when that kicks in, that just kicks ass. So that's
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. How many more
a
times?
little jazzy beginning, and then next thing you know, when it kicks in, it's off and running, man. It's got some real balls behind it.
Okay,
Very
let me see.
lucky
If
middle
there's
section, but then it kicks in again. And Bonzo's just
let me see if there's a Led Zeppelin. See if there's a metal cover of it. Joe Bonamassa does it. I don't see a Led Zeppelin, a what do you call it? A heavy metal cover of it per se. So Boston Alarm's doing it. What do they sound like? Oh, this is Alabama Shakes.
That's cool.
That chick has a great. I don't know her name. I apologize.
it's
Her voice.
She has a very cool voice. She sounds. You know who I think she sounds like is that help me out here. 30 Days in a Hole. What's his name? Help me out.
I don't know what the
Is the singer for Humble Pie.
Should I forget?
I think she sounds. I think she sounds like. I know that guy. I'm like, he's one of my favorite singers of all time, and it's the whiskey. The whiskey. Despite what.
I think her name is Brittany, isn't it? I don't know if her name is Brittany something. Not Spears, but
yeah. Britney Spears. It's Britney Spears singing.
It's not Britney Spears.
It's Britney something.
But hold a second here. Let me get it here. I'm sorry. I apologize. Lord, I apologize. Oh, Lord, help me, Jesus. Help me, Jesus. Help me, Lord. Help me. Steve Marriott. How could I forget Steve Marriott? One of my favorite singers of all time. But I think that she says that Steve Marriott kind of vibe to her voice. So listen to Humble Pie sometime and listen to Britney Spears from 38 Special.
Wow. And there it is. Britney Spears from 38 Special, by the way, they just played. That's early.
Britney Spears is touring with 38 Special. Did you know that?
No, she's
that's
38 Spears.
She doesn't even know who they are.
38 days in Britney Spears' hole.
Oh, God. Well, I'm sure that's...
This is going off the rails fast.
He needs to start drinking some water.
I have hardly any whiskey left, Keith. I mean, this is a shame. I was sick this weekend, and I was making hot toddies, and I just plowed right through this.
It up, huh?
Oh, shit.
I love hot toddies.
I'm telling you guys, here, let me give you my recipe if you have a cold. Here's what to do. I'm going to tell you right now. This kicks the cold right the fuck in the ass. You get yourself some of that Theraflu stuff, and you get it super, super hot, and you mix it in a thing, and then you add about 3 shots of this. Bullet bourbon. I'll fix you right up.
You don't put anything else in it?
That's it.
All right.
Just there, because Theraflu's it's got the lemon,
it's
got a little bit of honey sweetness to it,
And
just boom. Now, if you're not going to use the Theraflu, you're just going to make a hot toddy. Then you need like one of that like sleepy time tea or good green tea or something.
Right.
And then you're going to put the lemon and the honey because it's too nasty. Yeah. I mean, and then you could just relax on that and just.
Yeah, I would hope
You'll feel good. You ain't feeling no pain. No cold's going to get you, buddy. I promise. You could take that to the Ludini Bank of America.
Sometimes I put the lime in the Coke.
I do that a lot.
So what's your remedy, Keith, whenever you have a cold? What do you recommend?
What do I have for a cold?
What do you do?
I just kind of pray.
God, make it go.
Well, good
I
luck
complain. I bitch and complain, and I hope I pray it goes away.
That's because all guys do. You guys are big babies when it comes to being sick.
No, I'm terrible about it being sick. Yeah, I am terrible. I will admit it. That's why I tell like my girlfriend, I'm like, don't even come over. Like, I'm totally miserable. Don't be around me. You know, just let me get over it, and then we'll get back there with me later. You know.
That's why I hate having a boyfriend.
I can't. So what about you, Lily? What do you do? Just smack yourself in the head with one of your jugs? Is that how you get rid of a cold?
Pretty much. Knock myself out for 3 days and I'm good.
What the hell happened to this? What the hell happened to this show?
Tonight's special guest in the studio is Jugs Bunny. So whose turn is it?
Hold on. Oh, it's my turn.
It's your turn?
I think. Yes, it's my turn. Sorry. I'm gonna pick When the Levee Breaks. Simply
That don't count.
because it. Why doesn't it
It's the
count?
heaviest song of all time. It goes on a.
It is not the heaviest song of all
John
time.
John Bonham is ferocious on that track that it's just on a separate called the sickest groove of all time list.
Exactly, so that's why it counts. And that's what I was gonna say is simply because of the drums.
Thank you. You're gonna say that.
Stop.
You're gonna say that. It's back.
That's what I wrote that down.
This is a band called Heavy Machine, and I want you guys to check these guys out. They have a cool cover of A Whole Lot of Love too, but check out their version of When the Levee Breaks. I've not heard this. This is a band called Heavy Machine. And the audio on this isn't good. I apologize if you guys can't hear it. Very clicky bass drum.
Yeah.
I'm not nuts about the guy singing,
No, yeah.
but it is kind of heavy, and it does have that typical heavy metal bass drum, all beater type sound. In my opinion, they ruined it.
That snare drum.
So we have to
I think he borrowed that snare drum from Lars Ulrich.
If you guys, Lily, have you heard Zepparella?
No.
Lily's never heard Zepparella, so we have to real
So we have to
quickly.
do a
We
thing.
have to do a little Zepparella for Lily. There's another company that's not sponsoring my podcast that's trying to advertise my freaking podcast. Kick your ass.
Somebody just called me Jugs. Oh, it was Steven.
There's like four really gorgeous ladies.
shit.
Yeah.
Holy crap. Who's the play instrument?
I'm going to tell you a funny story about this. It's like, I can tell you guys a really funny story about this. One night, Keith's over, and we did the podcast.
Oh, no.
And we're hanging out afterwards. We're getting drunk, partying really hard, and we're just playing. You know, like YouTube. You put on something on YouTube, and like one thing will play after another, and this comes on. Keith's in mid sentence. As soon as that drum beat stops, like total silence befalls Keith. He's dumbstruck, and he just looks over at the TV, and he just gets this giant smile on his face. And I said, When the Levee Breaks is kryptonite to every drummer, because no matter what a drummer is doing, if they start hearing that beat, they have to stop, right? And they got to pay homage.
That's true. It's literally no matter what you're doing, there could be a freaking nuclear war, and I'm gonna be like, "Is that mushroom cloud? Levee's on." That's what it is. So, that's what it is.
Everybody's quiet.
That is really the most amazing thing that ever happened on drums, I think, ever.
It is. It's just so. It's ferocious, man. It's basically the heaviest freaking groove of all time. I mean, it's just. I don't care about people to think about complexity. That's just plain simple groove. Anybody that's even thinking about playing the drums, go listen to that track and just try to play that beat.
Yeah.
Running.
For as heavy as he was, and for as a hard hitter as he was really able to control the cymbal volume. Because when they cut that, the engineer wanted to mic all the drums, and he would not let him mic all the drums. He's like, you put two drums up,
2 mics.
because they did it hit the Grange, and that's it. And he controlled the volume of all the drums. I mean, it's perfect. It's freaking perfect. It's amazing. So we're done sucking John Bonham's dick for a couple minutes. Whose turn is it? Lily?
It's your turn.
My turn.
I did this song.
Oh.
This is the one I picked.
Oh, Lord Jesus.
Oh my god.
Okay, well, I guess I'm going to have to pick. What am I going to pick?
Hopefully no levees are breaking where Keith is.
All the ones that we're nearing the end, I think. I think one that is super heavy. It's very slow, but I think you could get like I think if a doom band cut this, I think it could totally work. And that is Dazed and Confused. That is one of the heaviest things that like ever happened. I mean, that's just like amazingly fat and thick and just.
I like violin both.
It is. I mean, it's like I said. There's once you start digging into their library, there's a lot of tunes that are kind of even sections might be heavy. I mean, overall the song has a heavy vibe to it. That's one of them.
There's one that I forgot, and I'm gonna see if you mention it as a heavy Led Zeppelin song. We'll see if anybody's gonna.
Well, nobody mentioned A Whole Lot of Love, which is their price.
It's their most famous song. Is that yours? You going with that next?
It's just we didn't really mention it, which I think it's either save that one for a couple more, but I mean, the serious that was on serious that probably is one of our most popular songs. And that riff comes in and it's heavy and the cool drum beat, like the little displaced snare drum, it makes it funky at the same time. So yeah, it's got a lot of elements to it, but heavy is what I can think of.
Okay, we're gonna each get one more. I mean, that was your last one. Lily, get one more. I get one more. This is our last one. It's almost 10 o'clock.
All right, Black Dog. I have no reason to rhyme, but I just really like the song. And I think it's heavy. Whole Lot of Love was supposed to be my last one.
My bad.
It's all good. At least you put it on there.
A Black Dog metal cover. This is a band called King Paul. You want to check them out?
Yeah, let's do it.
Check it.
Let me turn Ozman off. Sounds like Out on the Tiles to me. That sounds Black Dog. That's kind of classic rock sort of sounding. There's a band called Master Plan doing it.
Hey, mama said the way you move, gonna make you sweat, gonna make you groove.
That's more metal.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh, child, the way you shake that thing, gonna make you move, gonna make you sting.
That's a band called Master Plan, and again we're just cruising through YouTube, guys, and playing some cool Led Zeppelin covers. That's a great track, and Master Plan. I think they're doing a killer version of it. Here's my final one for the night, and Keith, I'd like to. If I can find it, it has now eluded me. Thank you for I had a whole thing planned just for Keith because he's my friend, and now I can't. God, why does Jesus do this to me?
Does Jesus do this?
Jesus is doing something.
Why are you
bad
gonna
to me.
blame him about it?
Because he's mad at me right now. So, anyways, why don't we do no?
I knew you were going to pick that.
Okay. But here it is. Okay. I'm going to dedicate this to my good friend Keith.
Nice.
When we start our Tool cover band, this is Tool's cover of No Quarter.
Yeah, that's a good one. I heard that before. That's been a while though. But yeah, they make it heavier than what it is, but that's a pretty heavy song to begin with, and that's one that kind of slipped my mind when I was there.
What do you got, Lily, in terms of audience participation? We want to mention anything about any audience stuff? Because I see some people commenting. Guys, I apologize. It's real tiny. I'm like about 3-4 feet away from the phone. I can't really read.
I lost a lot of it due to see how that works.
Oh.
Somebody did say no quarter. Somebody did say Achilles. I can't see anything else, unfortunately, right now.
Okay, guys. Well, everybody, I'm going to take a quick Sheila, Robert. Guys, thank you so much for your participation in tonight's show. We appreciate it. But yeah, no quarter. So what do we got tonight? Lily, let's go ahead and give our list. And you tell me how many tracks we have, and I will.
We have 15.
Whoa, 15 times Led Zeppelin went metal on your ass. Now go ahead and give us the 15 times.
Nobody's Fault, Rock and Roll, Achilles' Last Stand, Kashmir, Heartbreaker, Out on the Tiles, Into the Light, Immigrant Song, Communication Breakdown, I can't read my writing. Wow. How many more times? When the Levee Breaks, Days and Confused, Whole Lot of Love, Black Dog, and No Quarter.
I think we've pretty much proven the case that Led Zeppelin could be metal with the best of them.
They could be metal if they would admit to it.
Yeah, they just won't admit that they were. Yeah. I mean, think about all the bands. You know, we mentioned a little bit earlier. You know, all the bands that really, especially those '80s metal bands, that really owe everything to Led Zeppelin. I mean, that whole era was. I mean, even bands like Quiet Riot and bands like that were really styled after Led Zeppelin. I mean, they weren't. They didn't have the musicianship, etc. Those type of songs. But that was really, you know, the leads. You know, Van Halen is kind of like a second coming of Led Zeppelin.
So was Aerosmith. I mean,
yeah. Well, Aerosmith is more
a rock band, man. That's all it is.
But Aerosmith is more of a. I always considered Aerosmith because they came out in the very early '70s as more of contemporaries with Led Zeppelin.
Yeah. But I mean, they still.
You know what I mean? But
if you had a.
But Zeppelin hit. But bands like Van Halen come out like in the late '70s, early '80s, and then that whole '80s rock thing, you know, with the singer and the guitar player kind of out front doing the whole shake your booty thing, the long hair, the whole thing, you know, blues bass riffs are all very. That was a lot to Led Zeppelin.
I think at the time that they were out, that was one of the heavier things happening. So at the time, they could have definitely been considered metal.
I know. Yeah. See, that's one of the things that happens. Metal went in so many different directions, and now you have like extreme metal and thrash. You know,
and all the 1,000 subgenres.
Yeah, and we talked about that on another podcast. I mean, so you know, I mean, no, is Led Zeppelin thrash? No, they're not fucking thrash.
Not.
No,
classic metal.
Yeah, they're kind of like like in the same way that, you know, kind of like what Zeppelin and I mean, kind of like what Black Sabbath and Deep Purple were doing. Those guys, Deep Purple and Black Sabbath more than all of them have the more darker, heavy.
The unholy truth.
Yeah, but those are guys who are really the progenitors of it.
Oh, yeah,
whether Led Zeppelin wants to admit it or not.
They don't.
Crap.
Crap.
So Keith, what else is going on? If you want to talk about anything else today, buddy, you got anything else going on?
No, man, just trying to. Me personally, I mean, I'm living it one day at a time, and living that dream. Trying to play gigs and just try to make it and just see what's on the horizon for me. And keep do my thing. So as long as I can play somewhere, I'm good to go. It's
all that matters.
The passion. It's the passion, because it's sure that way don't make any money. So it's the passion now.
I'm glad you're paid. Hey, Frank, what's up? I haven't seen Frank in a while. Frank Will. In this day in rock in 1978. Now this is not metal or hard rock, but this was these guys had one song that was like giant. I roller skated to it. Devo released their album. Are We Not Men? We Are Devo. That came out in 1978, on this day in 1978. Let's see what happens. What else happened?
While you're looking for things, I do apologize. My show will not be on this week. I decided to break my computer for fun, obviously, so I'll be back next week. However, I will be at the Dead Daisy Show live tomorrow at Guitar Center and at the show at Jorgles. So check out the live feeds on Rock Ridge Radio for that feed.
This day in 2005, Oasis topped UK single charts with The Importance of Being Idle.
Yeah,
Let's see,
that's funny.
who else we got here. We don't really have any good rock stuff, right? In this day in 1972, David Bowie and his Spiders from Mars played Carnegie Hall in New York.
That's good.
Yeah, that's kind of a cool thing. I'm trying to think. This day, 1965, Bob Dylan treats an audience at Forest Hills Tennis Stadium. That was nice of him to go out and do a concert there. Stones make their first appearance on British TV show Ready, Steady, Go on this day, 1963. Oh, okay, let's go way back. In 1961, on this day, Motown group The Marvelettes released Please, Mr. Postman.
Oh, I like that song.
Yes.
I was waiting for you to.
So, what'd you
I'm
say?
waiting this whole damn show for you just to say that. That's awesome.
Well, and if that's not enough, Keith, you're going to love this.
But wait, there's more.
Singer-actor David Soul was born on this day in 1943.
He's Hutch. That's so.
Yep, stars
Very
in Hutch.
interesting.
And he had to,
Or
and he was nominated for an award for the song "Don't Give Up on Us, Baby."
why would you? You know, when he sings it like that, and when he croons that shit, why would you give? I've been waiting for it. Ever since he crooned that to me, I was like, yes, I'm not going to give up. David Soul, I'm still waiting. It's been 15,000 years. Thanks a lot.
Did you see the movie The Conjuring 2?
Yes.
In their bedrooms, both girls have Starsky and Hutch posters.
What's that say about?
Guess it is.
Learn to go tomorrow to kick their ass.
Okay, hey, do you know who Clem Catini is?
I don't know that name.
Well, you're a drummer. He was like kind of a jazz drummer. He was born on this day in 1937. I don't know if you knew who Clem Catini
Did it say who he played for, or just jazz drummer?
Said he played with the I don't think it was a jazz drummer. I think it was a surf drummer. Played with the Tornadoes.
Damn it. That's probably why I don't know it.
Okay, whoa. What about this guy? Do you know David Serafine? He was a drummer for Chicago.
Yeah.
He was born on this day in 1948.
Yeah, I think they're original guy. I don't know which one. Yeah, I know who that is.
So,
Yeah, I know.
okay, all right. So a couple of things happen. You know, with this day in rock, you get some winners, some like not so interesting shit. But we're not above stooping to try to keep you guys wildly entertained. What do you got there, Lily? What do you want to share?
I shared all the things.
Oh God, is that all you got to say?
You looked. No, I shared that I'm not going to be on my show this week because I sadly dumped a Frosty on my laptop last week. Like a jerk.
You know, you're not supposed. No drinks are supposed to be around the computer. You still there, buddy? We got paused. I think I used up all the recording space on my phone.
Yeah, we're good. No,
So,
got a little freeze there.
like a little freezing out.
Freeze frame.
Okay, so anyway, 10th Avenue freezing. All right, guys. Been listening to Ludini Hard Rock and Metal Circus. Go to LudiniRockandRollCircus.com. And, there's a lot of cool podcasts there with the different topics we've been covering over the past year or so, as well as some cool interviews. Please share the podcast around. If you have not shared the video already, please share it on Facebook right now. We really appreciate it. It helps us to promote great guitar-driven rock alive. You can also pick up some merchandise at LudiniRockandRollCircus.com. If you want some behind-the-scenes stuff, we're going to go ahead and head over there now and plan next week's podcast. You can do that at LouLombardiMusic.com/Inner Circle and get some exclusive music, exclusive video, and exclusive conversation. You can check that out there. Anything anybody wants to add before we get the hell out of here tonight?
I got it all covered.
Led Zeppelin rules. 15 times they were actually heavy metal, despite what Jimmy Page
We
and
didn't
Robert
even
Plant.
finish it, so I'm sure there's more.
despite what Jimmy Page and Robert Plant would have you think, they don't know what the hell they're talking about. You heard it here on the Ludini Hard Rock and Metal Circus. I want to thank my co-hosts Keith the Hawk Hawkins and Lily V6 for being here tonight with us live, and all the wonderful audience members that chimed in. And we didn't get to tonight with everybody, so we really appreciate it. And special thanks to Rock Rage Radio for hosting us live. You guys have a great week. We're going to wrap up with another track by Dark Entries. This is a track called Moonlight Run. Dark Entries, Ludini Hard Rock and Metal Circus. We'll catch you guys next time on the Ludini Hard Rock and Metal Circus.